Is this Wade's phone number I'm currently speaking to?
Yes, this is Wade. Who's asking?
This is Cliff. I borrowed Sam's phone. I'm the one who's been dating Sam for a while now.
I see.
This is a picture of Sam and me together. It's proof that we've been in a relationship.
When was this photo taken?
It was taken last month during a trip we went on. Sam told me she was going away on a trip with her old school friends, and she mentioned that she'd be staying overnight at this hotel. So we decided to further proceed with the relationship we had before.
Ah, I see. So, based on what you're saying, you are aware that Sam is my wife?
Yes, I am aware. That's actually the reason I'm calling. I wanted to talk to you about something important.
What exactly do you want to discuss?
To put it bluntly, I would like you to divorce Sam.
I see. Well, I'm sure you understand, but if a divorce happens, there will be compensation involved. Of course, I'm referring to the fact that I'll be making claims for damages against both you and Sam.
Yes, I understand that. I've thought about it, and I'm ready for that. That's why I'm reaching out to discuss things with you.
Also, Sam and I have a 3-year-old son. What's your position on that?
I would actually prefer if you could take care of him.
If that's the case, I will have to request child support from Sam.
Yes, I understand. And as her future husband, I will take full responsibility for providing for him. I'll make sure to pay the child support.
I understand your point, but just to confirm, does Sam know anything about this situation?
No, actually, Sam has no idea about any of this yet. Her birthday is coming up next month, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, here's what I'm hoping for. I would like to finalize the divorce before her birthday so that once she's officially free, I can propose to her as a surprise. I've been waiting for the right moment, and this would be perfect.
A surprise proposal, huh?
Do you understand my intentions? I'm serious about this.
I understand your intentions, and I see where you're coming from. But before I make any decisions about a divorce, I need to discuss this with Sam. So I can't give you a final answer right away. I'll need time to talk to her and then get back to you with a proper response.
I see. Well, I'll be waiting for your reply. I really hope you'll consider everything carefully.
I understand that you're serious about this. However, as I mentioned, I need to speak with Sam first. This isn't something I can decide on my own.
That's fair, of course. I completely understand. But let me tell you something. This isn't just some casual thing for me. Sam and I have been together for a while now, and we've built something important. I want to make her my wife, and I want to be with her for the rest of my life.
I appreciate that you're being honest with me about your intentions, but I still need to talk things over with Sam. I can't make any decisions without consulting her first.
I understand that, and I'll respect that. But I'll say this, I'm prepared for whatever comes next. I'm ready to support Sam in every way I can. And if that means being her husband, then I'll gladly step up and take on that responsibility.
I'm sure you will, but I also have responsibilities. As Sam's husband, I've taken on responsibilities that I don't plan to give up easily. I have a family to protect, and I'm gonna make sure that no one gets hurt in this process.
I understand that, I really do. But I want you to know that my intentions are pure. I want to be with Sam, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make that happen.
Well, we'll have to wait and see how things unfold. Again, I will talk to Sam, and then I'll let you know where we stand.
Thank you for understanding. I hope that you will seriously think about what I've said and take it into consideration.
I will. I'll make sure to discuss it thoroughly with Sam. Please, be patient, and we'll figure things out.
Thank you for your time. I'm looking forward to hearing from you soon.
Sam, where are you right now?
I just got off work and I'm on the train home. Well, that's usually the case, but what's with that tone?
I got a message from a man named Cliff earlier today.
Cliff?
He says he's your affair partner? So what's going to happen?
Well,
He showed me a photo from last month's trip as proof.
he went that far?
I was planning to wait and decide after hearing your side of things, but based on your reaction, I guess I can assume that what Cliff says is true?
Yes, I'm sorry, but that trip was with my friends from school. It was really just a friend's trip.
I see. And?
Cliff is a junior of mine, and he was traveling alone. It just so happened that we stayed at the same hotel. We hit it off and spent a lot of time chatting in his room about old memories, and the atmosphere just took over. I admit it. I'm sorry. I understand it's not about the number of times, but I want you to know that it was just that one time with Cliff. Since then, he's been messaging me a lot, but I haven't replied or met him.
I see.
I've been thinking for the past month about whether or not I should be honest with you. But now that it's come to this, I know I have to accept that divorce might be the only outcome. I'm really sorry.
Well, I understand now. We'll talk face to face when we meet.
Yes, I'm sorry.
But you know, there's something that doesn't quite add up between your story and Cliff's.
What doesn't add up?
Cliff was all ready to marry you.
What?
He said he wants to propose to you on your birthday next month, but he wants me to divorce you before that.
What is that? I don't even know how to respond. I didn't even have that intention, and if I could go back, I regret it all. I even talked to Cliff about it, but guess he didn't understand.
Anyway, we'll talk tonight. I'll show you the messages from him then. Divorce is almost certain for me, but I think there's something wrong with how Cliff and I are not on the same page.
Yes, I'm really sorry for all the trouble I've caused.
Wade, what do you mean by this?
Cliff, it's a pleasure to speak with you. I had Sam contact you, and this is the situation. We are proceeding with the divorce, but Sam has absolutely no intention of marrying you.
Why did you have to talk about the surprise?
What?
The surprise proposal. It was supposed to be a surprise. You can't just bring up the divorce without mentioning me at all.
Cliff, are you aware of your position right now?
Of course! That's why I'm offering to pay both the alimony and the child support for your son. I'm fully taking responsibility for all of that.
However, the issue is that Sam, the person involved, says she considers the whole situation a mistake. She wants to make amends to both me and our son, so she's willing to take care of the alimony and child support herself. She plans to pay from her own money.
Understood, then let's do this.
What are you suggesting?
I'll double the alimony that we initially discussed. How does $600 sound?
What?
It feels a bit strange to be offering money as compensation for Sam, but there's no choice, right?
Wait, hold on. $600? Are you serious?
Is that not enough? Fine, let's raise it to $800.
Hold on a second.
Oh, and we shouldn't forget the child support. So the total amount for both alimony and child support will be $900.
Wait!
I'm offering such a generous amount that I'm sure Sam will accept it without hesitation.
Cliff, let me explain something.
Yes?
Have you done any research on the typical amounts for alimony and child support?
Typical amount?
I'm not a professional, so I won't specify an exact amount, but since it was a one-time affair, it will likely be far less than a long-term affair. However, I can tell you that you should expect the number to be one digit higher than what you're anticipating.
What? So, 900?
No, it's the opposite. I've heard that the typical amount could be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
What?
In fact, if it had been a long-term affair, the total could even reach several $100,000.
That's completely absurd!
As for child support, the typical range seems to be between $200 and $400 per month.
That much?
Well, Sam has no intention of marrying you, and she plans to take care of the payments herself. You only need to worry about paying the alimony.
There's no way that's possible! Huh? It's ridiculous to be asked for such a huge sum of money when it's just a matter of two people who love each other and are meant to be together! You're trying to take advantage of me, aren't you? Or is this some sort of revenge for me taking Sam away from you?
Is that really how you see it?
Well, isn't it obvious?
Sam and I confirmed our love for each other that night. We were meant to be together. She can't possibly mean what she's saying about not wanting to marry me. I'm sure you're forcing her to say that. Please, let Sam go and set her free from this situation. And as for alimony and child support, I'll settle for a total of $500. I keep telling you, the numbers are completely off.
You're trying to punish me by demanding such an unreasonable amount of money. Fine, this is my final offer.
This is impossible. We're not getting anywhere with this conversation. Continuing to text about this will just waste time. I'm hiring a lawyer.
What?
For now, please stop contacting me or Sam directly. Sam has already blocked you, I believe.
What? That can't be right. Please, let me speak to Sam.
I'm sorry, but from now on, I request that you refrain from contacting either me or Sam. I've confirmed your current address through Sam's friends, so I believe a lawyer will be coming to visit you soon.
I won't accept this! I finally got together with Sam! Meeting again at that hotel was definitely fate! It was a sign that we were meant to be together! I've loved Sam since we were in school, and now we're finally together! Don't you dare get in the way of our love!
After the divorce from Sam, I was granted custody of our son. The decision wasn't made lightly, and there were a lot of emotional and legal battles we had to face. Sam and I had been through a lot together, and the road to separation wasn't as clear-cut as I had initially hoped. But in the end, after everything settled, I was the one who ended up with custody of our child. Sam had shown a lot of regret for her actions during the marriage, and that was something I didn't take lightly. It wasn't easy, but I decided to be understanding. Sam, realizing the seriousness of her situation and the consequences of her actions, agreed to reduce the alimony she would owe me. This was a significant step because, at one point, I thought the amount she would be required to pay would be much higher. However, we came to an agreement that she would make payments for child support in installments, which allowed us both some breathing room financially. We also decided not to go through with a division of property, meaning that I wouldn't be entitled to a share of her assets. In a way, this was a relief because it simplified the process, though I would be lying if I said it wasn't a little disappointing. The financial arrangements had been difficult to settle, but it was the emotional aftermath of the divorce and dealing with Cliff that took the longest time to sort out. Cliff, who is a key part of our separation, became a significant source of stress and conflict. From what I could gather, he seemed to believe that Sam's reluctance to marry him was somehow tied to our son and me. He thought that the bond I shared with my son was preventing Sam from being able to fully commit to him. This idea came out of nowhere, but it became a huge issue for all of us. Cliff, for reasons I still don't fully understand, became increasingly erratic in his behavior as time went on. There were several incidents where Cliff's behavior escalated. At one point, he made an attempt to abduct our son. I couldn't believe what was happening. I never thought something like that would happen to us. He tried to take my son, and it was all too much. That was when I realized that things had gone too far, and I had to take action to protect both myself and my child. Cliff didn't stop there, though. There were other disturbing incidents, such as me being attacked one night while walking alone. I was injured, though not severely, but the fear and trauma I experienced from those events stayed with me long after the physical wounds had healed. These incidents were too much to handle, and I knew I had to protect my son and myself. I filed a report with the police detailing everything that had happened. I felt a strange sense of relief when the authorities took the situation seriously and did what they could to ensure that Cliff was taken away and placed where he couldn't hurt us anymore. It wasn't an easy process, and it took a long time before I felt safe again, but I knew I had done what I needed to do to safeguard my family. I couldn't allow Cliff's actions to dictate my life or my son's future. During this time, I had to make some decisions that would affect the rest of our lives. I couldn't stay in the same place with all that had happened, so I packed up and moved away with my son. We moved into my parents' house, a place I had not lived in for many years. It wasn't ideal, but it felt like the safest place to be at the time. I didn't want to risk staying in a place that felt unsafe, not with everything that had occurred. My parents were incredibly supportive, and having them around gave me the strength I needed to move forward. They helped me and my son settle in, and it felt comforting to know that we were surrounded by people who cared about us. Sam, for her part, also decided to move out of the home where she had been living. She went back to her parents' house, which wasn't a decision I expected her to make, but it was probably for the best. I knew she needed to get some space and sort things out in her own way. The situation was difficult for everyone involved, and we all needed time and space to heal. It wasn't just about me and Sam anymore. It was about our son and what was best for him. I couldn't let the events that had happened affect his life any more than they already had. Now, our relationship with Sam is limited to being co-parents. We only contact each other when necessary, and it's all about our son. That's all that matters. We don't talk much beyond the essential things like arranging schedules and ensuring that our son's needs are being met. While I wish things had turned out differently, I know that this is the best course of action for everyone involved. We've both had to make sacrifices, but at least now we're both focused on what's most important. As for Cliff, things have been quiet for a while. I'm not sure what happened with him after everything ended, but I know that I did what I could to keep him away from my family. His parents, who were probably just as shocked by his actions as I was, reached out through their lawyer to apologize for the way things unfolded. It wasn't much, but it was something. I was glad to hear from them because it meant that they recognized how wrong their son had been in this entire situation. I never wanted things to get this far, but I knew I had to take a stand for the safety and well-being of my son and myself. Now, as time goes on, things are starting to feel a bit more normal. The fear and anxiety that haunted me during those dark times are slowly starting to fade. I can finally breathe again, and for the first time in a long while, I'm starting to feel like I have control over my life. It's been a long and difficult journey, but I know I made the right choices. I'm just focusing on my son, my family, and rebuilding our lives together. I have no idea what the future holds, but I know that we're stronger now, and I'm ready to face whatever comes next. Looking back, I realize how much I've learned through everything that's happened. It wasn't just about surviving, it was about finding the strength to move forward, even when it seemed impossible. I don't regret my decisions, and while I still have a lot of healing to do, I know that I've done what was necessary to protect my son and give him the life he deserves. Peace is slowly returning to our lives, and I'm hopeful that the worst is behind us. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Penny, Penny, it's been a while. Are you doing all right? What, Anna? Huh? What kind of reaction is that to me? Shouldn't you be a bit more happy to hear from an old friend of yours? Well, you should understand why I'd be reacting to you like that, but since you don't, that must mean you don't remember all that you did around me back in the day. What are you talking about? Ugh. Do you have a reason for talking to me again? I would really like you to hurry this up and tell me what you want. Oh, that's right. Well then, let me get right to it. Actually, I'm pregnant with your husband's baby. What? My husband's baby? Wait, who are you talking about? Oh, come on now. I'm talking about your company president husband, Penny. Jack. What? Jack? That's right. In other words, I got a very good taste of your husband these past few weeks, and now I am carrying our baby. Hold on a second. Anna, didn't you get married just last year or something? You were going all over bragging about how you'd be getting married to an elite from a very powerful company based in New York City, right? Whatever happened to him? Oh, you're talking about that? He and I broke up. Well, I should probably say divorced, but we weren't together all too long, so it just felt like a breakup. What? Why? Why did you divorce him after all that bragging? Oh, you don't know the reason behind it? The reason for that was because I started to go out with Jack. What? I didn't want for my last man to start throwing a fit about how I'd be cheating on him, because then he'd want something like a settlement from me. So I gave him some fake reason and then told him I was leaving. And right after that was when I got into bed with Jack. Well, I suppose that this time I'll have to pay you some kind of settlement, but that's where Jack will step in and help pay it off for me. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that I am carrying his baby. I knew it would be something like this. How many people has it been now, Anna? How many people has what been? I'm talking about how many people's partners have you stolen now. I happen to know around 10 people already that you've done that to. How many more men are you going to steal from different women before you're done with that crap? Do you have any idea how many women you've already gone and hurt? And this time is the worst yet. You're talking about how you didn't even really steal him, but slept with him and got pregnant while he's still married. You pull yourself together and stop being such a whore. Hold on, it's not my fault that I just so happen to be a very powerful woman. Huh? If you guys all don't want to be losing your boyfriends or husbands to me, then you have to become an even stronger woman than I am. That's all there is to it. What the hell? I have no clue how you're able to think of yourself that way. Oh my, oh my. So is this what happens when someone's about to be thrown away? I guess Jack has a good reason to push you aside now and why he's decided to impregnate me. What the hell are you trying to do, Anna? You married your last husband because of his money, but then you got that divorce to come after Jack? I honestly can't even imagine what your end goal is or if there's even one to begin with. There isn't one, to be honest with you. The reason I stole Jack from you is because I liked him and wanted his child. I only ever go out of my way to steal a man from someone else once I've started to like them. Well, if you want a word that describes it, let's call it my love instinct. Well, how about instead of listening to whatever love instincts you have going on there, you start to think about the ethics of what you're doing? Now, since I've gone and proved to you that I've stolen your husband, would you please take your sorry butt and move out of that gorgeous mansion for me? What? Oh, I can't believe it's already happening. I never thought that I'd be able to get myself a man that would offer me such a wonderful mansion to go live in. This is like a dream come true. Oh, and don't forget to divorce him when you get the chance. I don't care how much of a sore loser you want to be. Get that divorce so that you're not hampering my marriage to him. Penny, thank you so much for getting that divorce for me. But of course, it was Jack that went and did all the paperwork regarding the divorce, so we both just had to wait around forever while you took your time signing everything. But tell me now, why? Why haven't you left that huge mansion just yet? Actually, I was just told by Jack today as he came rushing into my apartment that he has been kicked out of that mansion by you after the divorce. Could you hurry it up and leave that place already? My belly is only going to get larger and larger as every hour passes by, and I'd really like to spend the last bit of my pregnancy relaxing in that massive house. Oh, so the divorce has happened now? So you've gone and handed in your marriage papers at the courthouse, right? Well, that's great to hear. Huh? Congratulations. What are you talking about? If all you're going to do is just sit there sending me messages that make zero sense, then how about you use your time doing something productive like leaving that mansion for us? I am the one that's Jack's wife now, and that means I'm one of the owners of that house. Oh? So you still haven't come around to understanding the situation you're in? What situation are you going on about? This mansion happens to be my house. What? Which means that this house is under my name. Huh? And before me, this place was once my mom's grandparents' house, which was handed down to me over time. When I was able to inherit the family company, I was also given this house. What? Also, Jack is not my husband. He's my cousin. Your cousin? Hold on a second. But I've been inside that mansion there before. Jack brought me along with him into that place, and there he and I made love to one another. A few times we've done that now, actually. And about that, the only reason he's always brought you here is because he's been living with me. Living with you? And as for Jack's actual wife, she's out of the state right now for a while as part of a work transfer she was placed on. So while she's been out of the state and away from here, Jack has been using up all of his savings going out on dates with you while cheating on his wife. And, well, he used up too much of his savings and was no longer able to pay rent, which led to him moving in with me. What? And he'd been here ever since, freeloading off me. I mean, he is my cousin, so I wasn't just going to kick him out and make him homeless. That's why I put him in a room on the other side of this huge house. That's why you've been coming into my house and having an affair with him. So, the reason he and I have always been going into the house from one of the back doors is because I happen to be really, really good friends with Jack's wife, so he was trying his very best to keep his cheating a secret from me. Hence, the back door was always your entrance, right? But once I found out from you what was going on, I made sure to prepare things to have him kicked out of here. Honestly, I am sick to my stomach just thinking about how he'd been bringing you into my house to have sex. I know this is a bit overboard, but I am hiring some pro cleaners to come in and clean out that whole room for me now. Hold on. In other words, this means I won't be able to live in that massive house? That's what this means. And as a side note, after what's happened here, everyone in my family is cutting ties to Jack. So he will no longer be allowed back into my house or anyone else in the family's house for that matter. We can't go to anyone's house now? No way. It was my dream to move into a mansion like that and live out my life there. And that's why I made him get me pregnant. Well, that's a bit... Well, I really shouldn't even say anything about that because I don't know what to say, so no comment from me. Hey, please, do you think you can allow me to live in that mansion with you? Why would I allow that? Because I've just become your cousin's new wife, right? You'll help one of your own family members out, right? Like you did for Jack when he was in need. I told you already that the whole family has cut ties to Jack now. But I'm pregnant right now. Right now is the most important time for me to be taking care of my body and this baby. So please, I am asking you to let me come over to that house and live with you. Well, whether I was going to allow something like that or not, pretty soon here I'll be out of this mansion myself. Huh? But that place is under your name still while you're gone, right? Why can't I come live there while you're gone? Because someone else is buying this property off of me. What? You're selling the place? Yep. Why would you do something like that? Well, I started to want to sell this place after I realized that my freeloading cousin was bringing in another woman to have sex with pretty often, even though he already had a wife. Back when my grandparents were still alive, they were living here as well, and they had a lot of servers and house cleaners that would keep this place clean and comfy for us. However, now it's just me here and, on occasion, my parents. So that's another reason we're wanting to move out. The place is way too big for just the three of us, and we can never get around to cleaning everything. So we're selling the house. I have already found myself the next house I'm moving into, and my parents will move in with me. The place isn't all too big, nor all too small. It's the perfect size for the three of us, and we won't have to worry about so many rooms anymore. I'm going to steal your husband then! Good luck with that. I don't even care if he has a lot of money or not. The fact that you've gone and ruined all my plans, I'm going to make you pay for. And I'll do that by taking your husband from you and making him mine. And considering how nice of a body I have, that'll be so frickin' easy for me. Well, you'd better be ready for the day he tells you he doesn't love you anymore. And like I was saying, good luck with that, because I don't have a husband yet. What? I'm still single. I have a fiancé, though, I'll tell you that much. Then I'm going to steal that fiancé of yours from you. No, I don't think you will. We won't know unless I've tried. You don't even have to try, though, to know the answer to that. He's with me right now looking at my phone as we have this little conversation. Huh? He already knows the true kind of person that you are. And right now he's been sitting next to me going on and on about how impossible it would be for such a toxic and shallow whore like you to steal him from me. So there you go. Huh? Also, I don't think you're in the position to be coming after me now. Why not? You just got married to Jack, right? And you also have a baby with him coming soon. There is also the thing about how Jack has around $30,000 worth of debt right now. $30,000 of debt? I'm not sure how he got into that kind of debt, but it started to come up after he began to cheat on his wife with you. What? No freaking way. All of those things he bought for me on our dates, he did so with borrowed money? You'll both also be responsible for paying a settlement to his ex-wife. Huh? He still hasn't paid her any of that? You think he can pay that off when he's already $30,000 worth of debt? For crying out loud! From what I've heard, the best way of getting that settlement paid off is to have them start taking money from your guys' income each month. So from now on, you both are going to have to try really hard not to spend any money and to work as often as you can. So that settlement, we have to actually pay that? While also paying off the debt that Jack is already in? That's right. There's also the money he'll have to give back to his ex-wife for using some of her income to cheat on her while she was out of state. That too? Well, yeah. You thought she'd let him get away with something like that too? Not a chance. That's why you'll have to start helping pay that back as well. No way. What's going on here? Jack was supposed to become my rich company president husband. Somehow, after everything that happened, Jack decided to go ahead with a plan that he had kept to himself. He didn't tell Anna about it at all. He had been making arrangements to join a new company, and the catch was that the job required him to live on site. As a result, the two of them ended up leaving town and moving away together. It wasn't a decision made out of excitement or hope, but one that felt like a forced step in their complicated lives. Anna's parents, on the other hand, were at their breaking point. When they found out what Anna had done this time, they just couldn't take it anymore. They told her they were sorry, but their patience had run out, and they severed all ties with her. The emotional weight of that moment hit Anna hard. She knew she was now completely cut off from her family, and there was no turning back. All she had left was Jack, and they were moving forward, for better or for worse. Given the situation, Anna had no choice but to stay with Jack, following him to his new life. It was the only option left. The prospect of making a fresh start with Jack, despite the mess they were in, seemed to be her only way forward. But even so, it wasn't easy. The decision weighed heavily on her, and she couldn't help but feel the pressure of everything mounting around her. After having her baby, Anna managed to get out of the house a little bit and took up a job to help with the overwhelming debt. For a brief moment, she thought she was getting a grip on things. She worked hard trying to balance motherhood and financial responsibilities, but the strain was too much. Just a few weeks later, she made the painful decision to put her baby up for adoption. In a way, it was the best choice for the baby. She knew that neither she nor Jack were in a position to give the child the life they deserved. Their financial situation was still a nightmare, and their relationship wasn't much better. They had fallen into this trap, and Anna couldn't deny that things were spiraling out of control. The cheating, the lies, the debt, it had all come to a head, and now they had to live with the consequences. It was a hard-to-face reality, but Anna and Jack were the ones who had created this mess, and they were now stuck with it. There was no escaping the truth. They had to make things work, or their world would collapse entirely. They couldn't keep running from their problems forever. Their lives were a tangled web of mistakes, and now it was time to figure out how to untangle it, even if it seemed impossible. They couldn't go back and fix everything they had broken, but they had to try and move forward, somehow. As for me, I've been spending more time relaxing with my parents at the new house we had just gotten. I had taken over managing the family company, which was a responsibility I had grown into with time. It felt good to be in control of something, to take charge of my life and move forward. Meanwhile, my fiancé was preparing to move in with us soon. It felt like everything was finally falling into place. When he arrived, the first thing we were going to do was submit our marriage papers. It wasn't going to be anything extravagant, no huge wedding or elaborate celebrations. We wanted to keep things low-key, as private as possible. The last thing we wanted was to draw attention to ourselves, especially given everything that had been happening with Anna. I couldn't help but laugh a little at the thought. The idea that Anna might hear about us getting married and somehow try to come back into the picture, coming after my fiancé, seemed almost too ridiculous to entertain. But then again, nothing about her actions had seemed reasonable lately. I didn't put it past her to try something desperate, but that didn't matter now. My fiancé and I were moving forward, and we weren't going to let anyone from the past interfere with that. Things were falling into place for me, but I couldn't ignore the mess that Anna and Jack had made of their lives. They had made their choices, and now they were left to deal with the fallout. I just hoped that they could find a way to make it work, even though I wasn't optimistic about it. People don't just get out of these kinds of situations easily. But then again, sometimes life had a way of surprising you. They would either find a way to fix what they had all broken or fall deeper into the mess they had created. Either way, it was no longer my problem. I had my own life to focus on now. I knew I had to continue building my future with my fiancé and the life we were starting together. Anna's decisions were hers to live with, just as mine were mine. We all had our paths, and I had chosen mine carefully. There was a part of me that felt bad for Anna, but it quickly faded. She had put herself in this situation, and she would have to live with it. There were only so many chances you could give someone before they had to take responsibility for their actions. While I couldn't change her past, I could focus on creating a future that I was proud of. The lessons I'd learned from my own experiences were ones I'd intended to carry with me, and they helped shape the life I was building with my fiancé. I couldn't let the mistakes of others hold me back. My life was moving forward, and I intended to keep it that way. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Mom, can I talk to you for a second?
Oh, Ben, what's going on?
I just got a call from the home. They said a package from you arrived. There are 3 big boxes. What did you send?
Oh, it arrived already? I'm planning to come over on Sunday, so make sure you prepare my room, all right? And oh, since there's no dresser, could you buy one for me?
What are you talking about?
You remember what I said before, right? After Dad's 3rd memorial service, we're going to live together.
No, I told you I declined that. Besides, what about the house back home? If you move out, it's going to be left empty.
Oh, don't worry about that. I've already gone through the proper steps to put it up for sale.
Wait, seriously? Hold on a second. What about all the stuff I left there when I moved? The things I couldn't fit in the apartment and asked you to keep for me.
Oh, that? Oh, I thought you didn't need it, so I threw it all away.
What? Seriously? I was planning to bring it back with me next time I visited.
Oh, I see. Sorry about that, but anyway, don't worry about it. You know what? I really like that modern-style room.
Huh?
The one with the balcony. It gets the best sunlight in the whole house.
But that's Mindy's office.
Oh, right. Oh, she works on her computer, doesn't she? Honestly, she can just use the living room table for that, can't she?
Well, no, actually. She needs a space where she can concentrate. That's why we made an office for her.
Well, okay, never mind. Anyway, I'll be there Sunday afternoon. So please make sure you help me unpack my things when I arrive.
Wait, hold on a second. I didn't say I was okay with this. You can't just show up and expect to move in without asking me first. And even if you do come, you can't just let yourself into the house.
Oh, come on, Ben. You're acting like I'm asking for something huge. It's just a little stay. You've been living on your own for so long now. Surely you can handle having me there for a while.
It's not about that, Mom. It's just that, well, things have been fine just the way they are. This is all happening so fast, I wasn't prepared for it.
Oh, Ben, don't be so dramatic. You've always been such a worrier. Besides, it'll be good for you. We'll get along just fine, just like before.
I don't know. It's not just about getting along. There are other things I need to think about. Like, well, what happens when your house sells? What then? Where do you go after that?
Don't worry about that. I'll figure it out. But for now, I just need a place to stay for a bit. You can't really say no to your own mother, can you?
I'm not saying no, but I need to have a little more say in this, you know? It's my place too, after all.
Oh, Ben, you worry too much. I'm sure everything will work out, and I'm just coming for a short while. It's not like I'm planning to stay forever. Ben, I'm at the station.
Oh, you're there already?
And, you know, now that I think about it, usually I'm driven to your house by someone, so I don't really know the way from the station. I got distracted and forgot about that. Could you come and pick me up?
Wait, you're at the station? Let me check. Is this the map website you're using? You know how to read a map, right? I'm not taking the car out today, but it's only a 10-minute walk for me, so it's not a big deal.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess it's fine then. It can't be helped. I know it's a little bit of an inconvenience for you, but it's not like I'm asking for too much. Besides, I'm getting older, and it's not always easy to find help. You're my son, so I'm sure you'll understand.
Yeah, I get it. I don't know what I expected, but this feels like a lot all at once.
I know, but it'll be fine. Don't stress yourself out too much. We'll work it out together. Hey, I just got here, but this isn't right, is it? You're supposed to be living in a much nicer apartment, not in a place like this. Is this an apartment?
It's Unit 203. The stuff you sent has already been moved into there.
Huh?
It was a relief to find a property that was available for immediate move-in.
What do you mean?
You don't really think I don't know what's going on, do you?
What are you talking about?
You've been making things difficult for Mindy every time I come home with her, haven't you?
What? I haven't done anything like that. If Mindy felt that way, that's unfortunate, but everything I've done has been for her own growth, not to harm her.
Oh, really? How about the time you treated the food Mindy cooked like garbage? Or the harsh words you threw at her when it was just the two of you in the kitchen? Was that also for her growth?
I told you I didn't do that.
I've seen the messages, too. Something like 3 years without children, blah, 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 and how you only want grandsons. You said some pretty outdated things, didn't ya?
Well, of course I want to see my grandkids soon, don't I?
I told you when I married Mindy that we would wait for 3 years before having kids so we could save money.
Oh, you did? Well, I didn't realize that.
And by the way, you can't control the gender of the child, you know. That's not something you can make happen. Telling Mindy about it won't solve anything.
Well, maybe so, but still.
So, here's the conclusion. There's no way Mindy, who's pregnant, is going to live with you.
What? Mindy's pregnant?
Yeah.
Oh my! Well then, it's even more reason to live together, don't you think?
What?
I'm the only one with child-rearing experience, so obviously it's better if I'm nearby.
Mom, don't you understand?
What?
Do you have any idea how much stress a mother-in-law who harasses her daughter-in-law causes when she's pregnant?
What? Are you saying that I'm causing Mindy stress?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
What?
That's why I don't want you near Mindy.
But why?
If you just read back through the messages I've shown you, you'd understand. Also, about that apartment, it's rented under Aunt Rachel's name, so you'll have to check with her for more details.
Aunt Rachel? Oh no. Is that really the case?
As you've probably figured out by now, after the package was sent, I asked Aunt Rachel everything. You've already used up what little of Dad's inheritance was left, and now, because of the mounting debts, the only option was to sell the house. So now you have nowhere to live, and you decided to move in with us, right? And after talking with Aunt Rachel about the situation, the result was that apartment.
Ben, listen.
The rent for the apartment will be covered for the first 6 months by Aunt Rachel, so you're supposed to use that time to find work and stabilize your situation.
What? So what about today? Well, what's going to happen now?
I told you I'm not doing that.
Why not?
It's to avoid the stress caused by your treatment of Mindy, and the financial strain of living with you would wreck our household budget. That's why. I don't want to hear your voice, so I won't answer.
I'll get along with Mindy just fine. I'll save money, too.
Sorry, but the attitude of sending the moving boxes and trying to force us into living together like this, I can't trust you anymore, even if you're my mother.
Hey, what's Mindy saying about this? Her parents live far away, right? Doesn't she need someone nearby to help with the pregnancy? I'm sure I could be useful.
Mindy's relatives are here too, you know.
Huh?
There are people in her family who raised their kids well, and I've been getting advice from them. By the way, I don't want to hear any advice from someone who used my education savings without asking.
What? Why would you say that?
Dad explained everything to me when it happened.
But you still had enough money for your education, didn't you?
No, it wasn't enough. Aunt Rachel helped make up the difference. If she hadn't, I wouldn't have been able to go to high school. But the university I could have gone to was out of reach. I even thought about going with a student loan, but considering your debt, I was scared about the future, so I started working right after high school. You probably still don't understand how I felt back then.
But you and Mindy live nearby, right? It's settled that we'll live in that apartment, so visiting us should be fine, don't you think? Right?
No, you won't be able to visit us.
Why not? I don't think just a quick visit would stress Mindy out.
We moved out.
What? No way, you just bought a house? You still have a mortgage left to pay, don't you? Wait, did you do this just to avoid living with Mindy?
No, the house was a rental.
Huh?
We hadn't had kids yet because we were saving for a house. We reached the goal amount, so we started trying for a baby, and that's when we bought the house.
Wait, what? But the stuff I sent to the apartment, it arrived, right? Doesn't that mean you haven't moved out yet?
There were some circumstances, so we just kept the apartment for now. That day, Mindy was actually going to check the final details of the house.
What?
I really think I made the right call not telling you about the move yet.
That's horrible!
After everything we've discussed, how can you still say such things?
But hey, I'm your mother, right?
Honestly, I'm just so tired.
Huh? Ben?
Dad often sighed too, but do you realize how much was sacrificed because of your selfishness? I'm done being dragged into that anymore.
But abandoning your mother is being ungrateful. You wouldn't do that, would you? We're family, just you and me, remember?
Dad told me this before he passed. The one you need to protect first after getting married is your wife and children. If your mother's actions get out of hand, you have to be prepared to sever ties. And that's what I'm doing. Also, Dad apologized to me for not being able to make the decision to divorce you earlier and how it limited my future opportunities. That's why I'm doing this now, because I see it as his will. Aunt Rachel should be arriving soon, by the way.
What? No, stop! I don't like Aunt Rachel. Ben, can you at least stay with me for a while?
Well, goodbye.
Ben, please just pick up. I can't deal with this silence anymore. I've been thinking about everything, about the past. You don't realize what it's been like for me, do you? I've had to make all these sacrifices for years, trying to keep the family together despite everything falling apart. And now you're just going to shut me out like this? I never wanted to be like your father, but you're making it so hard for me to keep trying. Please, I know I've made mistakes, but I can change. I can be the mother you need if you'll just give me another chance. Don't make the same mistake I did, Ben. Don't let pride destroy everything. I'm sorry for everything, but I need you to understand that I'm doing this because I love you and I don't want to see you suffer any longer. I've given up so much, and now I just need you to believe in me again. Ben, please, I need you to understand. I've done everything for this family, but you won't even give me a chance to explain. How is this fair? How is it fair that you just shut me out? What did I ever do to deserve this? You're my son. We've been through so much now, and now you just want to throw it all away? You're acting like I'm the villain here. You think I don't realize how hard things have been? You think I don't see how much you've had to struggle? I have been there. I've been there through so much more than you realize, but I never let it affect you. You never had to see me struggle because I made sure you didn't. But you can't even listen to me. You've completely turned your back on me. And now you're pushing me out of your life for good, and you don't even realize how much that hurts. You think Mindy is the only one who needs help right now? What about me? Do you really think that I'm just fine with everything falling apart? Do you really think I'm okay with being left all alone? Ben, I've never asked you for anything. Not really. I've always tried to handle things on my own, but now you won't even listen to me. I don't know what to do anymore. You think I'm the one who made things difficult for Mindy? You think I'm the one who caused all the problems? You don't know the half of it, Ben. I've been trying to make things right, but every time I reach out, you push me away. And now you've cut me off completely. Do you know what it's like to be this alone? Do you know what it's like to have no one to turn to? You think it's easy for me? You think I wanted any of this? You think I wanted things to go this way? Ben, you're my only family. I have done everything for you, but now you're treating me like a stranger. Why can't you see that I'm just trying to make things better? Why can't you see that I'm trying to fix the mistakes I've made? I'm not perfect, but I'm not a monster either. You've got to understand, Ben, I did what I thought was best, even if it wasn't always the right choice. I never wanted to hurt you, but somehow I've ended up doing just that. And it breaks my heart that you can't see it. I know you're upset with me, I know you're angry, but this silence, this coldness, it's more than I can take. I've been alone for so long, and I don't want to lose you too.
Just shut up already! You're blocked! After this, my aunt supposedly lectured my mother for several hours, giving her a serious talking to. During this conversation, my aunt also told my mother that she needed to start looking for a job. Eventually, she pushed her to begin working a full-time, part-time job. For a long time, my mother had lived life doing whatever she pleased without much thought for the consequences. However, the reality that she could not sustain herself without work finally seemed to sink in. From what I gather, she's now been going to work with a sense of seriousness, getting up every day and commuting to her job as expected. For a long time, my mother had always believed that her children would never abandon her. She must have held on to that thought for years, perhaps even without realizing how unrealistic it had become. In her eyes, I, her only son, would always be there for her, no matter what. That belief, however, was shattered when I made the difficult decision to cut ties with her. I'm sure it was a massive shock to her, one that she probably never saw coming. It's strange, but sometimes people can live in their own little world, assuming that everything will always go their way, only to have that world suddenly crumble. Some might say that no matter what a mother does, surely there's no reason to sever all ties with her. After all, she's the one who gave birth to you and raised you. Many people might feel that blood ties should be unbreakable no matter the circumstances. But in my case, that just wasn't the reality I had to face. And yet, despite everything that happened, I don't regret it, not even for a second. I understand that some people might find it difficult to comprehend how I could cut off my relationship with my own mother. It's something that goes against many people's expectations of how family should be. The idea of completely severing ties with a parent seems extreme to many, but the truth is, there comes a time when enough is enough. After years of enduring her behavior, I had to protect myself and my own family from her negativity and manipulations. Sometimes the hardest choices we make are the ones that bring the most peace in the long run. The choice to distance myself wasn't easy, especially given how close my mother and I had been in the past. But as I grew older and started a family of my own, my priorities changed. I realized that I had to take responsibility for my own life, for my own actions, and for the well-being of my wife and children. I couldn't allow myself to be constantly dragged down by my mother's actions, her inability to understand or respect boundaries, and her refusal to take responsibility for her own life. At first, it was hard. There were moments when I questioned whether I was doing the right thing. Would she ever come to understand why I had done what I did? Would she ever change her ways? Would I ever be able to forgive her? These questions lingered in my mind, but in the end, I had to remind myself that my own family's peace and happiness came first. I couldn't keep allowing her toxic behavior to affect us. Now, I've made it clear that my role as a husband and a father is my top priority. I will continue to do everything in my power to provide for my family, to protect them from harm, and to ensure that they have a better future than I had growing up. My family means everything to me, and I will do whatever it takes to keep them safe and happy. That's what being a father and a husband is all about. It's been a tough journey, but I know I'm on the right path. My mother might not understand it now, and maybe she never will. But I don't need her approval to live my life the way I see fit. I've made the choices I needed to make, and now it's time to focus on the future and the people who matter most to me. While some may look at my decision and judge me for it, I don't care anymore. I've learned that the only opinion that truly matters is my own. I know what's best for me, for my wife, and for our children. I will continue to walk this path not looking back, but looking forward to a future where I can protect the people I love and make sure that they never have to go through what I went through. And no matter how difficult it gets, I'll face it head on, because that's what I've promised to do. As a husband and father, I have a responsibility to my family. I will fulfill that role with everything I've got, and I will never regret it. Even if my mother never understands why I had to do what I did, I know deep down that I made the right choice, and that's what matters the most. I will stand by my decisions and keep moving forward, knowing that I'm doing the best I can for the people who matter most to me. And in the end, that's all anyone can ask for. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Lacey, I heard something about you. Is it true you don't have real parents? What? I'm sorry, what exactly are you trying to say? At the family introduction meeting, you called yourself Jared's sister, didn't you? But the truth is you're adopted, right? You're not even blood related to him. What? Oh, well, it's true that I was adopted, but you're wrong about the rest. There's still a blood relationship between us. The couple who adopted me are actually my late biological father's older brother and his wife. In other words, Jared and I were cousins to begin with. Oh, cousins. Well, that's all well and good, but it doesn't change the fact that you've got someone else's blood running through your veins. At the end of the day, you're not a real sister. You never were, and you never will be. Excuse me, but what exactly are you trying to say here? This is your wedding day. It's supposed to be a joyous, peaceful occasion, so why would you make comments like this? Why would you go out of your way to stir up unnecessary trouble? You really don't get it, do you? I'm saying your very presence here is the problem. What? You being here, it's irritating. You get on my nerves, you always have. You're just someone who lucked out and got adopted by your rich uncle and aunt. You're only where you are because of that. Because of the connections you gained from them, you were handed the Chicago branch to manage, like it was some kind of gift. Meanwhile, Jared, who's their real child, is still stuck as a department manager. That's as far as he's gotten. Your parents died, everyone pitied you, and then you were spoiled. All that sympathy turned to opportunities for you, didn't it? But let's face it, that's all it is. The world felt bad for poor orphan Lacey, and that pity carried you to where you are now. But don't you think you're taking life way too lightly? You act as if everything just naturally belongs to you. People like you disgust me. You take advantage of your tragic circumstances to climb your way up in life. You exploit everyone's kindness and sympathy, sucking up the benefits like a parasite. You're not family. People like you don't deserve to call themselves family. You don't belong here. I don't want you at my wedding. I don't want someone like you celebrating this day with us. There is no seat for you at this table. You're not blood. You're just an outsider. Leave. What? You heard me. Get out. Leave the venue right now. And while we're at it, you should quit the company too. That position you have, you don't deserve it. It's not yours. And just so you know, I'll be talking to Jared and his parents about dissolving your adoption. It's only right after all. You're not one of us. Jared told me he had already explained my circumstances to you. He said he told you about my situation and the reasons I joined the company, but clearly that wasn't enough. If you're going to reject me so thoroughly, then I have nothing more to say. I have no intention of ruining your wedding day. I wouldn't want to disrupt this celebration any more than I already have, so fine, I'll leave. If that's what you want, I'll go. As for quitting the company or dissolving the adoption, those are separate matters. That's not something we can resolve here today, but for now, let's just say I'm feeling unwell and leaving the venue early. I'll make sure to say it was because of a sudden illness or poor health. I'll cover for you. But you should really watch what you say. Be careful with your words. There's no need for this to escalate further. Oh, whatever. Sure, fine. Do what you want. You're leaving is all that matters. Good. Then I'll go. Yeah, bye. Good riddance. Goodbye. Forever.
Lacey! I heard you told Mom that you're leaving the wedding because you're feeling unwell. Did you already head home?
Oh, Jared, I'm sorry about that. I think I might have been a little too tense. I ended up with this splitting headache, and I decided it would be best to leave. I feel bad about leaving an empty seat in the family section, but honestly, sitting there and trying to endure the pain would have been impossible. It would have just made a scene.
Is that really true?
What?
I'm asking if you're really not feeling well. I mean, are you really sick?
Jared, what are you saying? Why are you looking at me like that? You're starting to scare me.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to come across that way. I'm not trying to scare you. It's just, when Mom told me about you leaving, Shelby was there too. At the time, she said all the right things. She told us she was disappointed to hear you wouldn't be attending. But then right after that, when she turned her back on us, I caught a glimpse of her face in the mirror on the dressing table.
Her face?
Yeah, it looked weird. She had this faint smile on her face, almost like a smirk. It was subtle, but it didn't look right. It didn't look like someone who was genuinely disappointed. It looked off.
Jared, are you sure you're not just imagining things?
I wish I was, but it wasn't just me. Mom saw it too, so it wasn't just my imagination.
I see.
That's why I need you to tell me the truth. I don't care what it is, just be honest with me. To tell you the truth, this isn't the first time. At the family introduction meeting, there was another moment that bothered me. When you left the table after talking to Shelby, I happened to see her face. For just a split second, she looked like she was biting into something bitter. Her expression twisted just for a moment. I thought I was imagining it back then, but now...
Jared...
If you're really feeling unwell, then that's one thing, but if you're not...
I see. I didn't want to ruin your special day, Jared. That's the only reason I kept quiet. But since you're asking, there's no point in hiding it anymore.
What do you mean?
I'll send you the message history I had with Shelby earlier. Take a look at it and decide for yourself.
Understood. Send it to me right away. Lacey? The wedding's been called off. It's over.
What?
Dad and Mom just spoke to Shelby's father. That's it. It's been decided.
I see.
If Shelby tries to contact you, don't respond. Not for now, at least.
Are you sure?
Yeah, just leave it. Also, don't go back to the house in Chicago yet. But at the same time, waiting at our family home might not be a good idea either.
Wait, what do you mean?
While I was talking to Mom and Dad, one of my colleagues, who I invited to the wedding, came up to me and mentioned something concerning.
Something concerning?
I'm sorry, but I'll explain the details later. Right now, I need to deal with the venue and figure everything out.
I understand. I'll stay out of the way for now. Don't worry about me. I'll find a place to kill some time. Maybe I'll head to a cafe and catch up on work while I wait for your next message.
Thanks, Lacey. I'll talk to you soon.
Lacey, what the hell did you say to Jared? The wedding just got called off out of nowhere. This is all your fault, isn't it? Do you realize what you've done? My father is furious with me. He is blaming me for everything. Why am I the one taking all the heat? I can't even begin to understand how this is happening right now. Hey, answer me, Lacey. Don't you dare ignore me. I know you're getting these notifications. You're reading them, aren't you? Don't pretend you're not. Lacey! Damn it. Explain yourself. What the hell did you do?
Shelby, 300 missed calls to Lacey throughout the night? That is absolutely insane! You need to stop this right now!
What? I was just thinking that Lacey, who caused our engagement to fall apart, should be held responsible for it. She has to face the consequences of what she did.
Lacey is not to blame, Shelby. In fact, I'm actually somewhat grateful to her, because if it weren't for her, I might not have realized how you really feel. It's actually a good thing, believe it or not.
What? You're grateful to her? How can you say that? She's the reason everything's falling apart between us. And on top of that, I am also incredibly disappointed in you. You didn't even bother to listen to the important things I've been trying to say. You've been completely ignoring what I needed to share with you.
What? Important things? What are you talking about? You're saying I ignored something important? I don't even know what you're talking about. You didn't realize this before because your last name changed after your parents got divorced, but I found out that the part-time office worker Rachel over at the Chicago branch is actually your biological mother.
What? Wait, what? Rachel is my biological mother? You're saying that Rachel, who works as a part-timer in the office at the Chicago branch, is my real mother?
Yes, that's right. I found out through a colleague who overheard some drunken gossip at a party. It seems your mother has been working under Lacey, who is the branch manager at Chicago. So tell me, how long have you known about this, and why didn't you tell me?
Well, it's just that my mom said Lacey was being sneaky. She was acting in a way that didn't sit well with her, and she made me think that there was something fishy going on.
Sneaky? What are you talking about? How is Lacey being sneaky? You're really not making any sense here.
My mom's been really upset ever since Lacey took over the Chicago branch. She says Lacey's still too young and that she only got the position because she's been coddled and favored too much. Apparently, my mom thinks Lacey doesn't deserve to be the boss, especially at such a young age. She's worried about how the company will fare under her leadership. So she thought that as the future wife of the next president, I should convince you, the future president of the company, to demote Lacey. My mom wanted me to tell you that it would be better to take action to get rid of Lacey before things go too far.
Wait a second. You think I'm going to be the president? Who told you that?
Huh? But you're the son of the current president, aren't you? I just assumed that since your father is the current president of the company, you'd eventually take over. It's obvious, right?
Well, Shelby, that's not exactly the situation. The company was originally founded by Lacey's father, my uncle, back when the company first got started. But he and his wife tragically passed away in a car accident when the company was only in its 7th year. After their death, my father, who had experience in the same industry, stepped in and became the 2nd president of the company. Now, my father has made it clear that if Lacey is serious about continuing the family legacy, and if she truly has the talent for business, he'd love for her to take over as the 3rd president of the company.
Wait, what? Lacey's father was the one who started the company? I never knew that. That's completely new information to me.
Yes, that's right. Lacey has been involved with the company for a long time now. From her college years, she started working part-time to help out. Over time, she became more and more skilled, and by the time she graduated, she had already earned the trust of the employees. That's why, when we decided to expand into Chicago 3 years ago, my father chose Lacey to be the branch manager.
Is that true? But My mom never mentioned anything about this. Why would she keep all this information from me?
Well, that's the thing. I heard that your mother was hired as a part-timer about a year ago, and that's when she found out that I was your boyfriend. But she had no idea about the bigger picture, the full context of Lacey's role at the company.
Oh, I see. So you're saying my mom only knew part of the story and misunderstood everything? She just jumped to conclusions without understanding the full picture?
Exactly. That's why she started making all these assumptions and telling you things that weren't true. It seems like she only heard bits and pieces of the situation and formed a biased opinion based on that. I'm starting to realize now that everything she said to you was based on incomplete information, and because of that, she passed along a very distorted view of things to you.
That's just ridiculous. So you're saying it's all my mom's fault? Is that what you're implying here? She's the one who twisted everything. That's the reason we had to break up?
No, Shelby, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to point out is that you didn't take the time to listen to both sides of the story before jumping to conclusions. You've been so quick to believe everything your mom told you without ever considering the possibility that there might be another side to the situation. That's where things went wrong.
But I was just trying to trust what my mom said. How could I know any better? She's my mom. Why wouldn't I believe her?
But that's the problem, Shelby. You only heard her side of things, and you didn't even consider coming to me for clarification. It would have been much better if you had come to me or even my parents to ask for our side of the story, but you didn't. Instead, you made assumptions and jumped to conclusions without any real understanding of what was going on.
I didn't realize that I was making such a big mistake. I thought I was just doing the right thing by trusting my mom. But I see now that I didn't really think things through, and that's why this whole situation escalated the way it did.
Yes, and that's why I'm so disappointed in you. You've been so quick to judge and act on partial information, and now look at what's happened. We're on the verge of ending everything because of it.
But I never wanted any of this to happen. I didn't want to hurt you, Jared. I was just trying to do what I thought was right.
I know you probably didn't intend for things to get this bad, but the truth is you never gave me a chance to explain anything. If you had, I could have cleared up everything and we could have avoided all of this. But now it's too late. The trust is gone.
Jared, please. I really didn't mean for this to happen. Please, can we just talk about this more? Let's fix this together.
Shelby, I don't think there's anything left to fix. The damage has already been done. I've made up my mind. We'll handle everything through lawyers from now on. Goodbye, Shelby. This is it.
Jared! I returned to Chicago and got back to my routine of calmly going about my work. But the situation around me was far from ordinary. First, Jacob, who had been caught as Shelby's biological mother's office associate, was absent without leave for a prolonged period and was eventually fired. Meanwhile, my brother was in the midst of discussions about breaking off his engagement. Shelby was quite stubborn and wasn't willing to listen, which delayed the resolution of the matter. It ended up taking 3 whole months to reach an agreement. In the end, my brother and Shelby decided that they would split the costs of the wedding that my brother had initially been paying in full. As for the cancellation fees for their honeymoon, Shelby would be the one to cover them. In a small but significant twist, my brother also ended up receiving a modest amount of compensation as part of the settlement. A little while after that, Shelby found herself deeply in debt and paid off all her outstanding amounts. She then unexpectedly showed up at her mother's place in Chicago for reasons that were unclear. To everyone's surprise, they ended up living together. The strange part was that they were both unemployed, and for 2 months they couldn't come to an agreement on who would be the one to get a job first. The situation became so contentious that eventually they were both kicked out of their apartment. Since then, I've lost track of what happened to them. The last I heard, I didn't know where they were or what they were doing. The entire series of events was a whirlwind, and everything unfolded so quickly. It felt like it was impossible to catch up. Shelby, once so determined and independent, ended up in a situation where her plans crumbled and left her with nowhere to turn. My brother, on the other hand, had tried to salvage his relationship with her for so long, but in the end, it seemed like the right decision to end it. They had both suffered in different ways. My brother had invested so much into the relationship, both financially and emotionally, and it seemed that he couldn't continue living with the betrayal of her actions. The emotional toll it took on him was clear, but the financial strain was even worse. The wedding costs alone had been a significant burden, and now with the cancellation fees for the honeymoon added to that, he had to adjust his life accordingly. Looking back, it was difficult to understand how everything had unraveled so quickly. Shelby had once been a promising and ambitious individual, yet she found herself trapped by the decisions she made. There was a part of me that felt sorry for her, but there was also a part of me that understood why my brother couldn't keep supporting her. They had both made choices, and the consequences of those choices were now inescapable. As for Shelby's return to her mother's place, it was hard to imagine how it all worked out. The two women, both without jobs and both struggling in their own ways, had a complicated dynamic. They hadn't been close before, but now they were thrown together in an attempt to navigate their lives. It wasn't the kind of situation anyone would want to find themselves in, yet there they were, both searching for stability in a world that had proven unpredictable and unkind. 2 months of constant arguments about who would be the one to find work was an exhausting ordeal. It wasn't just about money anymore, it was about power, control, and desperation. Each day, it seemed like the tension grew thicker, and the frustration was palpable. When they were kicked out of their apartment, it felt like the final straw. The once comfortable living situation had deteriorated to the point where they couldn't even keep a roof over their heads. Now, as time had passed, I wonder where they are and how they're managing. I never expected that things would escalate in such a way, but life has a way of throwing unexpected challenges at people. It's strange to think about how quickly things can change and how lives can shift in the blink of an eye. The fact that I've lost track of them is almost fitting in a way. It's as if they've fallen off the radar, their paths diverging from mine in a way I never anticipated. In the end, the whole experience was a reminder of how fragile plans and relationships can be. No matter how much we try to control our lives, there are always variables that are beyond our grasp. Shelby's decisions, my brother's commitment, and the aftermath of it all serve as a lesson in how quickly things can unravel, and how sometimes, no matter how hard we try, we can't undo the damage that's already been done. Now, as I reflect on it, I realize that there's nothing more I can do for them. Their story has taken its course, and I have to accept that. All I can do is move forward with my own life, hoping that they eventually find some kind of resolution, even if it's not the one I would have hoped for. The past is behind me, and all I can do is focus on the future.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.